In this video, I want to dive into why I'm spending more time creating content for YouTube than I am for Instagram. She's catching flies. So for the past maybe year, Reels have been working really well to grow my audience, to connect more with my community, to build my business. Reels were usually reaching between 2,000 and up to 15,000 views. And I was getting excited. I thought, oh my gosh, Reels are really starting to work. I'm getting good traction. Instead of having 2,000 views, I'm getting 5,000 or 8,000 or 15,000. And then just as suddenly as my stats started to climb, they not only dipped, but they stalled. 300, 400 views on those videos. I have almost 8,000 followers. I just can't believe that suddenly thousands of my followers decided to ignore Instagram or ignore my content. So there is some sort of algorithm thing happening there where it is not showing content to the people who are following me. I can totally get that part of my audience has me muted, or they're not using their accounts anymore, or their spam accounts. Seeing a dive in my stats and knowing that the people that are following me are not seeing my content, I knew that I had to make a shift, make a new plan. So my rule for my clients, for my members, for my students, and for myself is that if it is not fun, if you are not feeling excited to create, excited to show up and talk with your audience, then move to a different platform. There are tons of social media platforms, tons of ways to reach your audience. So I took a month off. I was going to take August off anyway. So I decided I'm gonna delete the app. We're not doing any Instagram. I'm not even going to scroll, which I did pretty good. There's a handful of accounts where I was like, I wonder what they're up to. And I would go and sneak. I also spent a lot of time on Pinterest and YouTube. So it wasn't a full social digital detox because I was still looking for that inspiration. I like seeing what people are up to, how they're doing their business, how they're doing life without it being like this really fast paced, fast in your face information. And I am tired of it. Now, does this mean that I am not going to be doing that type of content myself? No, I will still be posting Reels. I will still be posting content and showing up on Instagram, but it's gonna be a little different because it's going to start with YouTube. Other thing I noticed in stopping Instagram and disappearing for now 40 days is that I still got new members into the Dare to Grow membership. I still had my following grow and go up and down a little bit. I still had people liking and commenting on my posts. So me not posting continuous content every day, it's okay. You can do it too. So the last thing that is kind of making me pull back from Instagram a little bit, readjust how I'm planning my content and creating my content, is listening to Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, talk about the changes they're making. And every time he shows up, I think it's like a weekly thing, it seems like they're focused on things outside of I want my followers to see my posts. Because that's what Instagram was about, right? It was kind of like a mini blog, or you could do photography, or you could do graphics and just write. And you knew that the people that followed you would see that content. Every time Adam comes on and does an update, he says they want you to see the content that you want to see, and they want to help put more recommended content in front of you, which sounds great. I would love my audience, my 8,000 followers, to see the posts that I post. But that does not seem to be happening. I think part of that reason is that they are trying to harness the power. Did you hear Hazel? She's sighing so loudly, does not give a shit about Instagram or YouTube. Instagram is kind of trying to harness the power of what TikTok has created on their platform that was built for something totally different. TikTok is showing you the things that it thinks you want to see. So you can follow people and you will probably see their posts, but it is not made from the start to be something where you follow people and then you just see a feed of their posts. They are going to show you related content in your main feed always. And they do this because they're constantly serving you new content, fresh content, and that keeps you on the app longer. Instagram, you used to just scroll through until you saw all the updates from all the people you followed and then you were done. But now they're realizing that the faster the video moves and the more seamlessly they're showing you videos, the longer you're gonna spend. So this isn't all bad news about Instagram. I know this is like a boo Instagram kind of video. I am still gonna be over there. The thing is that you need to play into what Instagram is becoming. And it is not gonna go back to mini blogging as much as I really would love that to happen. It is just not gonna go backwards. So if you are finding yourself feeling really frustrated, one of the things you can focus on is the fact that Instagram is going to show your post to people who follow you and people who don't, no matter what. So when I look at my stats, I'm usually seeing about 50% followers and 50% that do not follow me, which means that while Instagram is not great for reaching people that follow you, which is ridiculous, it is really awesome for building a bigger audience. So as you're making reels, think about, for people that do not follow you, but they're interested in what you share, what can you create that will attract them? What can you create that will make them remember you? And what can you create that will give them a reason to take action? Do you want them to leave a comment? Do you want them to DM you, download a thing? Because what will happen is that when someone takes action, even if it is just pausing and watching your video, Instagram is taking note of that and they are going to serve them more of your content. So it is not a waste of time to be on Instagram, but it is something that you might want to think about the content you're creating and shifting it so it's less about nurturing your audience and more about attracting people into your community and into your space. And one of the ways I'm doing that is by not creating as much content that is specifically made for Instagram. Instead, I'm gonna take clips from my videos for YouTube, chop them into 20-second, 30-second, minute-long clips, and I'm gonna put those on Instagram. And there will probably be a few stories here and there and other things, you know, promotional content or content for my free trainings or my planner that's coming out. So now instead of my podcast and Instagram being at the top of the pyramid, we're gonna put YouTube at the top. That's where my longest piece of content is gonna go. And then my podcast will go underneath that with other pieces of content filtering into Reels and Stories and TikTok, Pinterest, all the other places. So I am gonna do a full video on how I planned that, figured that out, restructured that, and I'll give you like the diagrams and everything so that you can create that for yourself as well, because that is one of the things that really helps to keep from feeling like, okay, now I'm making content for YouTube and now I gotta do Instagram content. Maybe you're doing workshops on Facebook. Instead of doing content for all of the platforms separately, you're making a waterfall of content. So video for my YouTube is at the top and then it's gonna filter through. We'll throw audio on the podcast. Some more video will go into Instagram. We're gonna do graphics that go into Pinterest and video, because Pinterest does video now too. But I'm not having to continuously create tons of content. I spent 30 minutes recording this video. It is going to be much shorter than that when I edit out Hazel catching flies. This is going to be my structure going forward, and it's gonna be a little bit of an experiment. So I'm gonna see what happens over the next 6 months. I'm gonna look at my stats. I'm gonna think about how I feel creating video. I'm trying to shorten things by doing an outline rather than a full script like I was for the podcast. But like I said, it's an experiment. I'm gonna give it about 6 months. This feels like a really good use of my time to kind of build a library on YouTube. And even after 6 months, I'm like, this is not my jam. Maybe we just go back into the podcast closet, that's fine. But it will give me a library of content that YouTube will keep showing to people. And YouTube also shows up in search engine results. So that is another spot that YouTube can do the work for me, where Instagram, all right, let me know what you guys are thinking about creating slower content, about doing longer form content. What are you feeling about Instagram lately? Are you moving to TikTok? Are you feeling stressed out about social media in general? Are you making any shifts? Leave a comment, let me know what you think. I love hearing from you and discussing this stuff because, it's a process and it's figuring out what feels good and what your audience is attracted to, and that isn't always a fast process. So let me know your thoughts. Make sure you hit subscribe and like this video so that YouTube knows that we're making some fun stuff over here, and it will hopefully share my content with more people.